Hello there, wrestling fans, and welcome to another spooky episode of the internationally known Dudes at Ringside podcast. I am your host, Joe the Panther, the third. And man, I was looking back at my old guests in my big Dudes at Ringside book, like Grandpa Doug looks at his grandson, nieces, and nephews, and I was going, who would I bring back from the past on my Joe's solo tour on the big tour bus? And I got to a page and I felt like a hand grabbed me and was like, you better not skip this damn page, Joe. And my hands were all bloody and I was like, why are my hands bloody? Did I drink Kool-Aid? And I was like, Savanna Stone. And my hand got grabbed by the hand and looked at me with those deep eyes and said, you better pick me again, Joe. I'm kicking your ass. So I said, all right, I think something made me to do this. So let's give a warm Dudes at Ringside welcome back to Savanna Stone. Welcome back, Savanna.
Thank you so much for having me. That was the best introduction ever. I'm gonna need to take you to every booking so you can introduce me like that.
Yeah,
That's perfect.
I got scared. I was like, if I don't pick this name, something's happened to me. I'm getting paper clipped like a Saw movie. Like, I do have a manager's jacket, Savannah. So I have a nice.
See, that's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. Yeah.
I don't wear hats at the shows. I'll just have the chrome dome shining in the sunlight. So what have you been up to since the last time we hung out, Savannah?
Oh my gosh, so much. I've been wrestling like crazy. I'm starting to travel more since the whole crazy COVID pandemic stuff, which is so exciting. I forgot how exciting traveling really is, how busy and time consuming it is, which I love. And I've also been back at school doing graphic design, starting to get into that along with some computer stuff. So it's been great.
Wow. That's awesome that you have like a life outside of wrestling. So what is it like when you do like a graphic design for somebody and you find out the last second they're like a fan of like wrestling and they want to know about what you do like in the ring? Like
Well, right now I'm just studying it. I'm hoping one day to actually like own a business in it. I love just being a creator, regardless if it's wrestling or not. But I've been just kind of like toying with it, with my own business in wrestling, just kind of playing around with what I like and what I don't like, how I want to be perceived on social media platforms. And it's just been a lot of fun. It's definitely like a new way to show my creative side, both in the ring but also out of the ring as well.
awesome. So you said you're trying to get on the road. Do you have any since the last on the road like those?
So I've been so I'm located here in San Diego, California, and I originally started my professional journey back when I was 16 in the Midwest. So I wrestled out in the Midwest scene for a really long time. I was a little baby back then, and then right around the time during COVID hit, I was like, I'm gonna do a switch up. It's time to completely change the game. And I decided, why not? Like, why not go to the West Coast? I knew some people out here already, and I'd never really touched that scene. And I moved right during COVID. So, really, the only thing I was able to do was do literally the West Coast because when COVID struck, so many companies just went down and slowed down their bookings and all of that. And now that we're slowly starting to get back to normal, it's been so much fun going back to the Midwest. I have some stuff lined up there. I'm also trying to sneak my feet back into the East Coast a little bit. So it's been a blast.
Yeah, that you said the East Coast, my eyes lit up. You didn't see it. I was like, I'm gonna be able to see Savannah Stone live, and she's gonna grab me by the neck
Yeah.
and say, "Where's my sticker, Joe? I'm sorry, it's supposed to be in the mailbox. It got sent back to my house." So there's a few promotions that I suggest you to put on your book in your book of places on the East Coast. First
Yeah, give
is
them to me.
yeah, one place is PPW is where that's where I usually go now. It's in Slatington, PA. They do their
Okay.
shows in Slatington, and it's like half a sporting arena, which has like a food court outside the doors, and there's a bar outside the doors too. And on the opposite side of the arena, it's so cool. Like before you go into training, they have like a consignment shop that you could you could buy like old Coca-Cola signs and pops and old like like WCW cards, and they have like old statues and all kinds of things.
That's pretty
There's
cool. Yeah.
Whereas CCW, which is an all women's promotion from Delaware, they're really cool, nice
I've
people.
gotten to wrestle there. I've gotten to wrestle there. I'm planning on making my return here soon, actually. But yeah, that's an awesome one.
I really like him. He's a nice guy. He gets the owner's really cool. I've worked with a lot of his wrestlers. I got a chance to talk to Clara, and I'm working on getting more people from CCW. There's, oh my gosh, there's CCW in Florida. I don't know if you're familiar with that one.
No.
Yeah, there's another CCW in
Yeah,
Florida.
I haven't touched a lot of Florida, but it's on my list. I've
In New
gotten some
York,
connections.
oh sorry, in New York we have the NYWC, the New York Wrestling Connection, which their women's title actually was owned by a guy for a while, like but then he lost it. Um, there's the VPW, Victory Pro Wrestling, that's near Hot Dog. It's another good one. They've been around for years. Mikey Whipwreck used to be part of them, and he used to own them. Somebody else owns them now. I'm not too sure. There's another promotion that goes in Long Island, and they go to Jersey a lot. They're called
Okay.
Win. They're owned by
Okay.
the Maximo brothers, SAT. The SATs, they own that one. The Win.
Okay.
Shout out to the
Okay.
SATs. Big fans of the Dudes at Ringside podcast for years. Um, Here we go. I'm gonna get into the elephant in the room, but your promo picture. So, what went into that new look, Savanna, with the heart glasses and the black top? Like,
So it's an interesting development. So when I started when I was 16, like I said, and I was playing what we call a baby face or a good guy for the longest time. And when I moved out here, they're like, yeah, we want you to switch up. And I was like, okay. I was like, all right. I was down for the change. I was down for it. So I really have gotten to be out here on the West Coast. I've gotten to experiment with my new look and how I want Savanna Stone to come across when she's rageful and violent. I would say the look at first started very kind of just like street brawler look. That's just kind of what I was going for. The girl that kind of crushed skulls. So yeah, that's where I incorporated the blood. Um, and then after that, I don't know. I got a lot of confidence working as a heel. I started experimenting with my looks, showcasing that you can still be a badass and crush goals and look hot doing it. And so that's kind of where I'm playing around with it. I really want to look like a superstar, you know? Um, the heart glasses for me incorporates the blood that I see everything, and so like my eyes are bloody from it. It also incorporates kind of the sad girl look that I go for. I kind of have the sad girl vibe about me. So yeah, I put a lot of time and effort into your appearance. I think it's a really important part of professional wrestling.
so who made your gear, or do you find it anywhere you go?
So I have different styles and different gear makers that I go to. It's hard because with women's wrestling, a lot of different gear makers do different things. And so you'll have to go to certain gear makers for just tops and certain gear makers for pants. And so it's definitely a challenge sometimes trying to like find what gear makers work for your style. So I would say to anybody that's like just going out there, like no gimmick gear is a really good place to get your gear, is a good place to start. It is a little bit more expensive, but I tell you, like sometimes putting the money down for your gear is one of the most expensive is one of the most expensive, but one of the most rewarding things because it's literally the like a book cover. You know, it shows people what you look like, who you're about just by your appearance. They always say in like life, you don't want to judge people by their appearance, but in professional wrestling, when you go out and that curtain opens, that's the first thing fans judge you for. So you got to look professional while doing it. So definitely take time in the gear choices that you make. Don't come out there with something low rated because it doesn't matter how good you are in the ring. You look like a low class then.
Yeah, that's like the most important thing. I know you would probably feel the same way, Savannah. Like, you go out there and your character's just wearing like a tank top. You know, maybe the new kids, the new wrestlers, they go out there with the tank top on and the like, like the tank top or like the just the leggings, and their character really just, does not really, they don't really have the like look yet. So when you see a young wrestler out there going out there and they they don't have the right gear, do you like approach the newer wrestlers in the locker room or no?
Um, it really depends. It depends on the person. I never want to be. Growing up as young as I did, I know how hard it is to learn in this business, and you learn at your own pace too, so there's people that are hungry and willing to hear the criticism, to hear the positive things that they do as well. And I feed them. I feed those young wrestlers that want that. Um, and some of them, I know they have it on their own. That's their journey. They'll find it when the time comes. You can't fake confidence. For the longest time, if I started professional wrestling and I was talking to my 16-year-old self saying I was going to wear what I'm wearing now, I would be like, yo, no, never, ever, ever. I wasn't ready for it back then. So you got to go in wearing what you're comfortable in wearing. If it's sexy, if it's rough, rugged, it doesn't matter if you look like a princess. It doesn't matter what you look like. You just got to look clean doing it. Or if the gimmick is dirty, you got to look dirty and rough, and the gear's got to match that. Putting time and effort to get it professionally done is something I would say is so important. When you share your footage and you have that wrestling resume, that you share to bookers to get new opportunities, you don't want to look not professional,
So I saw you were facing Zeta again. So what was it like to get the ring back in the ring with Zeta again?
Zeta Zhang she is probably just as complicated as I am as an opponent. Um, Her and I like to say, are the Batman and Joker of professional wrestling. You can't have her and talk about her without my name coming up, and vice versa. She is a really challenging opponent. She's hypocritical. She's narcissistic. She's basically looking at a mirror. And but at the end of the day, I think we can move on past this question because we all know how Zeta Zhang and Savannah Stone's story ended, and that's with my hand being raised. There's no disputing that.
Mm, good one.
Sorry.
Yeah. So again, let's talk about like the road. Like, what is it like to be on the road with Savannah Stone? Like, what is like your thing for the road?
Oh my gosh, if we're being honest, I mean, you want the honest truth?
Yeah.
Probably bipolar as hell. I'm not gonna lie. It really depends. Sometimes the car ride for me is just that time to think. So I'll put my music and I'll give the big brother handshake and hugs and catch up, of course. Um, but sometimes I just put the headphones in, listen to music, and get myself ready for that match and for that, what I'm wanting to do. What is this match going to represent? And other times, I don't know. It really just depends. Sometimes I'm easy, free going, and you get a good day from me and I'll be able to talk and joke. But I'm a very big introvert. So I like to say that it's fun. I hope that it's fun. I hope people, when they ride with me, aren't like, oh God.
Do you
But
stop at like the gas station, Savannah, or do you like, just straight go?
say that again, I'm sorry.
Sorry. Do you like stop at like the gas stations and get like snacks like on the trips or like?
Oh yeah, no. I mean, I try to eat as healthy as possible on the road. It's definitely really tricky. I was trained back in the Midwest. We got trained how to travel. I think that's a really important part. And so, like, we always carry food with us. We always carry drinks with us, the essentials with us. But you have to stop and get the road snacks. It's wrestling. It wouldn't be wrestling if you didn't.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. So like the day of like a show, like what is like your go-to like meal? Do you eat before a show? Do you wait to the end of the show and eat? Like what is it like for you that those days?
Oh, I'm probably a really bad example of what to do come show day because I usually do not eat anything at all. I'm very in the zone for the most part, so I'll like gorge myself after, and like if it's a good one, I'll get some good food in. But yeah, before I'm lucky if I drink water, which is really bad, and I highly don't recommend.
Hear that, fans? Please drink water day of shows if you're
Yeah,
wrestlers. Drink
please do. Yeah.
like do you I know it's like when you you're going to the show. Do you have coffee? Do you drink energy drinks? Like, what is like your energy keeps you like going?
Yeah, so usually I'll have some water with me and I'll sip that. I've been trying to stay away from coffee as of recently,
Mm.
but I used to. I used to a lot back when I was in the freshman in college. That was my go-to because I was doing classes and wrestling, and it was and working full time. So the energy drinks, the coffee, the water, all of it was my. Now I just try to stick to water. Every once in a while, I'll throw in a diet soda if I'm really craving something, but.
Mm. Yeah, it's like kids out there listening to this on like Spotify. Like sodas are cool, but like water is the best bet to grab. Like if you're an athlete, Gatorade's cool, but it's a bag of sugar with water. Like best bet to drink, grab a bottle of water, or if there's a sink, even though it sounds horrible, some sinks are really bad. Like those rusty ass gym pipes. Like yikes, you know, being backstage, you have to go to the locker room and there's a drinking fountain. You're like, ugh, do I drink out of this freaking? So, what kind of gyms, like high school gyms and stuff like that, have you done? That like, have you ever done any really bad, like old high school gyms?
So the schools that I've wrestled at have all been pretty nice schools for the most part, but I have wrestled in some pretty crazy, wild places before. There was this, I can't remember where it was at, somewhere in the Midwest, but they did not have a women's locker room, which is a big one to anyone who's like doing promotions or shows or thinking about starting a promotion or a show. Please take some time to focus on the wrestling locker rooms. They're important. I'm not saying they got to be like 5-star hotel worthy, but like I'm talking there is like broken glass and like spiders literally crawling. It sounds like a movie, dude, but I swear to God, it was young in my career, so they had kind of taught you already that like you change where you change, blah blah blah. But I'm like, yo, dude, there's got to be some sort of limit here. But that was back a little bit more when women's wrestling wasn't as popular, so they just didn't think about that kind of thing. I would say definitely out here in the West Coast, it's been really good. The people out here take a lot of time on their venues and where they wrestle and pick where they wrestle at.
So, like, what is your go-to like candy? If you had to pick a candy to eat, like, doesn't even have to be on a show day. Like, what is your favorite candy of all time?
Okay, of all time.
Yes, I mean, like, it could be one or it could be five. Like, it depends on
Okay,
you.
okay, okay, okay. I was gonna say because there's a toss up for me. I would say Kit Kats and Twix.
Mm.
And Twix is very special for me because I have to have like the. I don't know if you've ever seen them. You've seen like those Easter egg
Yeah, yeah,
Twix.
yeah, 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 yeah.
Okay, so I don't like the sticks. Those are just like whatever.
Yeah.
But they have to be like the full cookie with the caramel on top covered in chocolate. And it's something about the Easter egg Twix. Normally, I'm a Kit Kat girl. Like that's when you talk about the gas stations, that's what I'll be grabbing. Like I'm so good. I'll walk through everything. I'll grab my water. Everything will be fine. I go to check out, and they have that candy right there in front of you, just luring you in on purpose. It's so freaking annoying. And then I'm
It's
like,
like
oh, God.
now I know, Savannah. If you ever come to PPW and you're telling me you're gonna be on the show and then be like stopping at the Wawa halfway between
Yeah.
Milford and Slatington, I'm gonna be like, we gotta stop there. Why? I need to get my buddy Savannah a present. You're like, Savannah, happy birthday. He'll be like, that bag way too big, Joe. That's too big, but I'm taking it. Like, um,
Wawa. Oh my gosh. I love
yes.
Wawa.
Yes, they have.
I love
I got a
Wawa.
BLT with them like a few years ago. Got a BLT when I was still going to see my grandmother. Got my restless soul, and I got a BLT on a hero roll there. Oh my god, it was so good. Oh my
They
gosh.
have some really good stuff there. For people that don't know, can I like explain it?
Oh
Because
yeah, talk about
I
Wawa.
talk. Okay, because like okay, this needs to be like a known thing. This is like the god of professional wrestling, like eating in terms of food for me. So I never knew that it existed because it doesn't exist in the Midwest and it doesn't exist on the West Coast, to my knowledge. I think there was like talks about maybe bringing it in or whatever, but from my knowledge, it only like exists on the East Coast. And it's this like gas station. Oh, the best thing I could compare it to would be like QT, but if QT actually had like edible food. Sorry,
Yeah,
QT.
God, like
But it's like as big as that kind of gas station, and it is like so good. It's like quality food, dude. And there's like protein
I need to get
shakes.
sponsored by Wawa. I need to get a sponsor like the past few
I
episodes.
need to get sponsored by Wawa. We can both get sponsored by Wawa.
Let's get a combined sponsorship.
There we go.
You'll get the Saturday sponsors that do the wrestling show. Have your promo picture. Savanna Stone shops here. Everyone down the line.
Perfect.
Everybody,
Perfect.
you have to pay extra. They have to pay, and they'll open the box, and your autographed picture will be in it. Like here, Savannah Stone. Yeah.
I
So
love it. I love it.
if you did have a sponsorship with Wawa, and they had a sandwich in the deli, what would be the Savannah Stone special?
What would be the sandwich special?
Yeah.
Let me think. I don't know. I'm not too much into bread, but I mean, like, I'm down for their chicken fingers. Like, their chicken fingers for me are super good, and their shakes are super good. They also have those, like, what are they? Like the stir fry bowls. Give me a stir fry.
Good. Okay.
Bro, give me a stir fry, bro. I will market the hell out of that stir fry bowl.
Make the bowl like the glass. Oh my god! Make it like a double bowl, so it looks like the heart glasses. So it's Savannah.
Ooh.
Right?
Yes.
Right, girl?
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
They look like their glasses, so they're like the cracked hearts, and it looks like
I love
it. Savannah Stone's.
I love it.
Oh yeah, I'm gonna market that. I guess mine would look like a micro. You know what my special would be? I love BLTs. The Joe Panther the Third would be either it could be either a BLT on a hero roll. Always has to be a nice amount of deluxe BLT with garlic mayo because I love garlic mayo, or a nice fat New York style Italian combo with mozzarella on it.
Okay. I don't know what that second one is. It sounds fire though.
You never had an Italian combo?
No, I don't think so. I'm not a big sandwich fan.
You can actually, once you eat the bread, you could always take the lettuce and put the lettuce,
make it like a lettuce wrap.
Provolone, make that the bread. And it'll tell if you ever go to a deli and say, "Hey, can you make me an Italian combo?" Just put it in the lettuce and make it like a lettuce, like a wrap, like wrap.
That's actually really smart. Holy fuck!
You make it a salad. You can make an Italian combo salad. Like make it a salad, lettuce and tomatoes, and put the meat. Like what's that thing when you go to a pizza place? What starts with an A. Everybody always gets it with like the salami and the provolone in it, and the pepperoni.
Okay. Yeah.
Like that you just make
it. Do that. That's smart.
Yeah, I love.
That's
food.
super.
I love food. So me and
Savannah. We can open
up. If I ever thought about it, Savannah, we'll open up an East Coast restaurant that's wrestling related, but with our restaurant, I know you would think the same way. We would only promote independent wrestlers, no big wrestlers.
Yes.
All indie wrestlers.
Exactly.
What would you name our restaurant? What would be our restaurant?
I don't know what we name our restaurant, but I know our menus would they could be like we could sponsor like independent companies, and we could like the food items could be named after companies in the area. And like if it's a pizza, it could be like I don't know, like the PPW pizza of the I don't know, something like that where it's like all the items are wrestling related.
Yeah, like
That'd be sick. I love it.
Something like over the top rope meal or whatever like that.
That's so good. Oh, you gotta copyright that. You better copyright that right now.
Like in closing, before we go, where can my fans buy your merch? Where can they find anything of Savannah Stone?
So I'm actually coming out with new merch right now. You can find it anywhere on Instagram. Go ahead and message me directly if you'd like. I'm working on right now actually getting a specific link to my merch. I'm a little behind on that. I will be there, I promise y'all. But I got some new t-shirts coming out actually, and this is actually a special little announcement. I haven't even posted on my social media yet. I have some new t-shirts coming out for the Midwest specifically, because that's my home. And I'm running a small little deal on it. So if you guys come to the CHWA show in Illinois, September 22nd through the 23rd, y'all can come and get some specialized merch just for the Midwest.
Oh wow. Dang it! I have to be on the East Coast. I'll never be able to get it. No.
Don't worry, don't worry. I'm actually talking to CCW right now, as you guys said, and I'm planning on making my return. So fingers crossed on that, and you guys hopefully will see me guys soon.
Awesome. Before we go, if there's any young, like male or female, if they wanted to get in the business, like, what kind of advice would you give them?
Ah, that's such a loaded question. I would say one, it's going to be hard, like straight up. And everyone like nods their head and says that it's going to be hard. If you're young in the game of professional wrestling, it's like 10 times harder. Because you're literally growing up in the game of professional wrestling. You're growing up learning how to market yourself. You're growing up learning how to think of yourself as a business. You're growing up learning how to talk and promote yourself like a business. And you're growing up learning how to actually wrestle and do the crazy crap that we do in the ring, in the business. So it takes a lot of confidence. You got to have confidence and you got to be willing to learn. And most importantly, you got to be willing to learn. You got to be willing to learn through the bad mistakes, through the good mistakes, through the harsh criticism that could have been worded differently, and through the criticism that's worded in a perfect way. You got to be able to take all of it, twist it, and make money out of it.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Savanna, for coming back on the podcast. I really appreciate it from the bottom of my heart. Like, it's so good to talk to
Thank
you
you so much.
again. And I'm so glad you're doing so well. Like, I always been watching little things on your videos. I was like, man, I totally have to ask her back. She's doing big things, and she's part of my Dudes at Ringside family. I know she's not busy. She'll shoot me a message and like let me know. And we got back to each other really quick. I was like, boop boop boop, set the
Yeah,
date.
yeah, absolutely. No, thank you
Um,
so much for having me. Thank you so much for bringing me back on. I love talking with you.
Thank you. I have the same thing. I'm Joe Panther the third. Your turn.
This is Savannah Stone.
We will catch you in the next one. Good night, everybody.